Well, there is President Biden emerging from church. I believe this is back when he was president-elect. Joe Biden has been, rather outspoken that he is a devout Catholic. He has said that. His White House press secretary has maintained that. But a lot of what, forgive me, Joe Biden does in terms of policy and other things is not in accordance with the Catholic Church. He knows this, by the way. Listen to this.
I support a woman's right to choose. I support it's a constitutional right. I've supported it. I will continue to support it. And I will, in fact, move as president to see to that the Congress legislates that that is the law as well.
So this does not sit very well with a lot of Catholics, and particularly with Catholic Church leadership. Joined now by Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone of San Francisco. Once again, welcome back to Newsmax. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Look, let's tackle this. He's a Catholic. He's pro-abortion. He is enacting and supporting pro-abortion policies. What does that mean for a practicing Catholic, practically speaking?
First of all, I believe him when he says he feels that devotion in his heart. I can understand it was inculcated into him early in life, as it was for me. I'm not someone who wandered away at some point and came back. So I understand that sentiment in the heart, but the head also has to align with it. So Catholic Church teaching, in addition to what is we know from the Bible and from what the church has taught throughout the century, there's also this natural moral law, like natural truths that we don't need the Bible to understand are wrong, such as killing the innocent is wrong. So when a prominent Catholic espouses a position that furthers a very grave evil, such as killing innocent human beings, that is a big problem, because they're in opposition to a fundamental part of our faith that should be a value everyone accepts, but certainly we as people of faith accept. They're out of line with that. For us as Catholics, the act of receiving communion means that someone accepts what the church teaches, all of the doctrinal and moral truths, and are striving to live that out in their lives. So there's this incongruency there.
Not all Christians, obviously, are Catholics. Communion, I believe, is unique to the Catholic Church. Now, Joe Biden, you're telling us, is ineligible to receive Holy Communion. I believe you published a letter not too long ago. Yes, those who reject church teaching on basically everything, but particularly abortion, are not eligible to receive communion. Joe Biden doesn't seem to accept that. He drops the name of the Pope, of all people, and says that, well, he said it's okay. And I think we actually have this moment. Listen to this, please.
You were in South Carolina recently, yes, and a Catholic priest did not give you communion. He said it was because of your position on abortion. Were you offended by that?
That's a private matter. I'm not going to talk about that. But it's the only time it's ever happened, and we didn't talk about it. He went to the press about it, and it's not a position that I've found anywhere else, including from the Holy Father who gives me communion.
Okay. So who's right here, Archbishop?
The principle is clear that someone who's cooperating with a very grave evil is not, as we would say, properly disposed for receiving communion. So, I mean, you're correct. The Catholic understanding is different from Protestant church's understanding of what that act means. So the person's not properly disposed until they've repented that and changed the course of their lives. The other question is what to do when you're put on the spot and such a person comes forward. So that's why I emphasize in my letter that I issued a few days ago, and bishops, many other bishops in the country have said that these conversations have to take place to help the person understand the gravity of what they're supporting. I mean, we wouldn't do this with other evils that everyone accepts is evil. So we know that this is evil also. So these conversations have to take place in advance in order to avoid these uncomfortable situations from happening. And so sometimes the communion minister is on the spot and has to make a split-second decision. We avoid that by having these private conversations in advance.
Nancy Pelosi also describes herself as a Catholic, a practicing Catholic, and as we know, she is pro-abortion. Some might say pro-choice, others would say pro-abortion. And I believe she is within your parish, within your jurisdiction, if you will.
Yes.
Have you had that conversation with her? Would you have that conversation with her?
I have been in conversation with her, and I'm seeking to continue that conversation.
All right. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So Joe Biden, I'm told, every now and then flips through the dial and catches this show. If you were to talk to him, what would your message be? What should he do, both spiritually and governmentally?
My message would be what I put in my conclusion in my pastoral letter when I address Catholics prominent in public life, all walks of public life, who are advocating for abortion, to please stop the killing. This is killing of innocent human beings. Many women are in crisis pregnancies. We in our Catholic community and other faith communities do a lot to reach out to them, to provide them with resources. We need to help them. The answer is not killing her baby. The answer is surrounding her with love and support to help her make a life-giving decision. So I would say, please stop the killing. Please change course. Please confess this and put yourself back to be properly disposed for Holy Communion. So there is consistency with the devotion you feel in your heart and the way the positions you're taking on these very critical issues.
Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone of San Francisco, we thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.